Hello everyone. So in my previous video, I had discussed about web development and you as a web developer, what you need to do, how you need to become a web developer. So if you have watched my previous video, you must have seen that there are a lot of things that a web developer has to take care of. So if I have to jot down or if I have to basically say what are those 5 essential things without which you cannot become a web developer, although it was very difficult, but here in this video I have jotted down 5 such things or 5 such technologies or different fields that you must know if you are aiming to become a web developer. Now you might not be or you need not be a master in each of them. That is not possible and that is not expected probably, but you need to have a brief understanding of which factor is impacting the website and how they work together. If you use something, then how it will impact the other thing and a lot more. So you need to have a basic understanding of all these 5 factors or all these 5 different things so that you become a good web developer. Without further ado, let's get started. So the first and the foremost thing that you need to know is how the web works. That is the understanding of HTTP, HTTPS and a lot more. What it means, how it was developed, what is there inside it, and what HTTP, how it functions actually. So the very first thing that you need to know about web development if you want to become a web developer is how the web is built and how it is functioning. What is HTTP, what it means, how things are working in this HTTP world. Okay, so this is the very first thing. You need to have a history, the understanding of the history, the understanding of what the web is and how the web is currently functioning. Now there are several things that are there, right? There was web 1, now the ones that we are using is web 2, and then again there are recent developments for web 3. So what are these web 1, web 2, web 3? What they actually mean? The second factor is the knowledge of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. You cannot become a web developer without the basic knowledge of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. You need to have at least the most basic knowledge of these 3 things if you want to become a web developer. It's irrespective of the fact whether you want to become a back-end developer or a front-end developer. It is completely independent, but you need to understand and you need to have a clear knowledge of what these things are and how these are impacting our websites. They are impacting big time, but how are they impacting? That is something that you need to know. The third thing is a programming language. You might not be the master and you might not be in charge of developing. You might not be a back-end developer and you might not have the tasks of developing the application or the APIs, but you need to at least have the basic idea or the basic knowledge so that you are able to understand what the website is doing and how it is doing that. So you need to understand or you need to have a basic knowledge of the programming language or the coding languages or what APIs are. You need to understand. Maybe if you are not able to get hold of a syntax of a programming language, that is absolutely fine, but you need to understand what logic needs to be applied. You might not be the one developing it, you might not be the one testing it, you might not be the one using it, but you need to be the one who understands what you have built. The fourth important factor or the fourth important thing that you must have a knowledge about is the networking bit. Which port needs to be opened, what is the DNS and a lot more. So you might not be the networking expert, but you need to know on what networks the website is running or about to run or a lot more. So you need to have basic understanding or basic knowledge of what networking looks like and what network is being used, what are the ports that you're using, what is the DNS, what are the VPS, and there are a lot of terms. I am not going to confuse you with it, but you need to have a basic knowledge of the network or the network requirements or the networking of the website that you are responsible to build. Fifth, and this is also one of the most important things that you need to take care of and you need to have a knowledge of is the database. Now your data, whatever data is being presented on the website has to go back to a database. So which is the database that you will be using or your website will be using for that matter? What is the language, what how you select a database, and a lot more. So you need to have at least a basic understanding of what databases mean and what are the things, or what are how your website is dependent on the database. Again, if you have now you will be having a database, so which network or which port will be responsible for taking data inside, in and out of the database. So you see how these are interconnected, right? You might not be an expert of each one of these, but you have to have an understanding of each one of these, and you need to know what is being used, why it is being used, how if we are not using this, then how our website will get impacted, and a lot more. So these are the 5 things, or the 5 different domains in which you need to have your knowledge, not expertise. Of course, this is not the end, this is just the beginning, and after this you get to choose which field you are more interested in, and then you work in that field or in that domain, but you need to have an understanding of each of these. Now, apart from this, there is one specific and one bonus thing that I would like to tell you here, is that if you want to become a web developer, you also need to know how to use GitHub. What it is and everything, that I will discuss in a separate video, maybe later, not really right now here. But you need to understand what GitHub is, because you will be definitely using GitHub. So a basic understanding, or an understanding of how things function or how things work in GitHub, will be something that will act as an advantage on your end. So I hope that I have been able to help you, and I've been able to guide you in how to become a web developer. What are the 5 basic and essential fundamental skills that you need to have if you want to become a web developer. That's all that I have for you in today's video. I'll come again tomorrow with another such video. Till then, stay tuned to CareerQ. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.